You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. And tonight, we will be covering money versus kindness. We already know the answer to this. That is not the point. What is Mr. Z gonna call his own stream today or tonight? Screed. This yap moo, I'm not gonna call it yapping, that's feminine. This conversation, that's what we'll do, is brought to you by a Miss Airy Linux. We all seen the clip. Yes, Mr. Z has the clip. Yes, we will be playing it, but that will not be the anchor video for tonight's stream, right? The anchor video for tonight's stream is gonna be a little different. We're gonna play that first, and we're gonna get around to Miss Airy Linux and what she said. Even though it doesn't really have much to do with the money part, we gonna make it have something to do with the money part. Goddamn, Z, how you gonna make that happen? We'll see. Continue. As a matter of fact, before we say continuing, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And let's play the anchor video. It's actually a clip of a video. I gotta actually put the whole thing in the pause. I gotta put the whole video in the description box. So we'll be doing that after the stream. But let's play the snippet, the anchor video. And this is what Mr. Z says at the end of the stream. Y'all check out Black Manosphere content and non-Manosphere content, because this was a non-Manosphere conversation or think piece, or think piece, and y'all will see why Mr. Z is playing it. Fair use again, and let's continue.
So if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Alexander. Before YouTube, I spent 8 years researching, consulting, and teaching about the job market. My whole deal is basically understanding what's going on with young adults and money in the United States. And when you look into the data about wealth, you find that American millionaires live very different lives than finance bros would have you believe. According to even the most conservative surveys, American millionaires are nearly 3 times more educated than the general population, with over half of them having at least a master's degree. Not only that, but 70% of millionaires are not even entrepreneurs. They are employees who work for somebody else, but who manage to save money and make smart investments over several decades. And just to add insult to injury for the more red-pilly finance bros, 90% of American millionaires are married, with over 2/3 of them never getting a divorce. That means that the typical American millionaire is a highly educated employee who makes boring investments over the long term and who is deeply loyal to their family and friends. But yet, despite that truth, since the 70s, there has been a well-funded army of authors and now content creators trying to convince young adults to drop out of school, to become some obnoxious alpha male that hates women, to start businesses with extremely high failure rates like real estate and dropshipping, and to put money in risky investments that also have extremely high failure rates like cryptocurrencies and NFTs.
Now, everything after what he said with that marriage rate was just add-on. Like I said, I will be putting the link for this in the description box. We're going to play it one more again just in case y'all missed it. He said 90% of millionaires are married. Ooh. We're going to get to why that matters in this conversation, right? Shout out to all of you who this society, women, feminist women, keep on saying lack personality, not likable, and that's why you're not married. Shout out to all of us working class men, working poor men, lower middle class men. Because apparently our millionaire brethren have better character, are kinder people, are just better people. It don't got nothing to do with the money though. Continuing.
So if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Alexander. Before YouTube, I spent 8 years researching, consulting, and teaching about the job market. My whole deal is basically understanding what's going on with young adults and money in the United States. And when you look into the data about wealth, you find that American millionaires live very different lives than finance bros would have you believe. According to even the most conservative surveys, American millionaires are nearly 3 times more educated than the general population, with over half of them having at least a master's degree. Not only that, but 70% of millionaires are not even entrepreneurs. They are employees who work for somebody else, but who manage to save money and make smart investments over several decades. And just to add insult to injury for the more red-pilly finance bros, 90% of American millionaires are married, with over 2/3 of them never getting a divorce. That means that the
Over 2/3, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, because Kevin said it. By the way, to all you anti-Black minister guys, I see y'all never mentioned that. Y'all let those women rail on about character flaw in men. There's no character flaw in millionaire men. Over 2/3 of them never get divorced. 90% of them are married. Yeah. As opposed to what, Z?
Why aren't people getting married? Is marriage simply for those who are privileged? That was the question in regard to a survey done by the American Enterprise Institute and Opportunity America. As we know, the percentage of people getting married has decreased over recent years. And so what are the reasons behind it? Now, marriage has sharply declined among people without college degrees while staying steady among college graduates with higher incomes. So just to give you the specific numbers, 26% of poor adults, 39% of working class adults, and 56% of middle and upper class adults ages 18 to 55 are married. So the number or the percentage is much lower for those who are living in poverty or struggling economically. Now, to compare, back in 1990, the numbers were very different. So in 1990, 51% of poor adults, 57% of working class adults, and 65% of middle and upper class adults were married. One of the main reasons.
Yeah. And by the way, remember, those are old numbers. Those are like 2017 numbers. It's gotten worse. I have said this for years. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Apparently, Kevin Samuels said it before he passed. America has turned marriage stability into and we're back. My apologies, everyone. My apologies. Okay. Going back. So y'all heard, yeah, into silence. Yeah, my bad. And I completely forgot what I was saying too. It's not reckless. It's not reckless. It's not. Somebody interrupted, but it's not reckless, right? Okay. Don't forget your train of thought. It's already too late. Anyway, we'll get back to it. It's fascinating listening to these folks who speak as if there's some type of special character flaw in you. Dear Black men, all men, working class men, Black men in specific. Y'all seen that marriage rate? Oh, thank you, Vince. They turned marriage into a luxury item. There you go, Z. They turned marriage into, America has turned marriage, the capitalists have turned marriage into a luxury item. And the women help them. Shout out to the feminists, right? For the life of me, I have to review Dr. Green Gorilla's coverage of capitalism plus feminism and what it has brought, right? And thank you, Vince, for the reminder. They turn marriage into a luxury good, a luxury item, right? At least stable nuclear heterosexual marriage, huh? You know how we know?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Get ready for this.
Oh shit!
What did it say about staying in your dusty tax bracket? For all of you that didn't get to read it, we're gonna post it again. You got 15 seconds.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Get ready for this.
Oh shit!
And so when your everyday woman, especially your ladies that earn a couple of dollars, look at average men as dusties, all women huddling up on the guys at the very top, mainly white, but some black, Latino, Asian, right? You get sentiments like that. You get sentiments like this. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, because Mr. Z is dead. This is definitely gonna get demonetized with all the goddamn music in the background. Huh? Yeah. Huh? So a bunch of women telling you how you're not on their tax bracket, they earn too much. Look, it wouldn't be the end of the world, and Mr. Z wouldn't be covering, wouldn't be covering it if what we didn't hear a steady drumbeat from a handful of conservatives, to be fair, but mainly liberals, mainly on the left side of the political spectrum, about the reason marriage is not that great, and these women want to be single anyway, and the problem with the men is they're not going to college, and they're not likable, and they lack personality, and they're not interesting, and they don't take showers every day. And the millionaires, 90%? You trying to tell me 90% of millionaires take showers every day and they're white? Let's cut it out. 90% of the millionaire men are that great? Huh? 2/3 of them never get divorced. They're that great, huh? Or is it that the women have a whole different evaluation now? Huh? Why didn't y'all just say it? That y'all are to be bought. Ooh, goddamn, Z. So the vagina was always for sale. Yes, Z, it was always for sale. All that character flaw crap, that lame ass crap, is just that. Excuses. Everyday men get women's ass to kiss. Millionaire men buy who they want. Goddamn. Huh? Oh, man. Huh? Z, you don't gotta sound so black pill about it. I'm just saying. Huh? And so shout out to Be Me. Y'all, let's see what Mr. Z is speaking of in a minute. I've played this before, but I wanted to address something that he said at the end of this, right? So y'all buckle in and we're gonna play this. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Continuing.
If framing marriage as a transaction seems a little cold to you, not exactly warm and fuzzy, I get it, trust me. But Wang told me one of the primary reasons most never married millennials have stayed single is because of financial reasons. That mentality, problematically, might be fostering this idea that you have to be pre-qualified for marriage. Consider, Coons told me that young couples decades ago used to marry first, often having dated for 6 months or less, and then figure out the other important stuff in life. Marriage was sort of a gateway into the adult world. Today, it's more likely to be the reverse. Individuals work on their own lives, advance their own careers, figure out their finances, maybe move in together, and then say, I do. Marriage in this setup is a status symbol, not the first step in adulthood, but a sort of victory lap. No wonder, then, that wealthier, well-educated people are more likely to get married than folks without a college education who have low income. This disparity is a bad development because child rearing has not declined proportionately in low-income communities. That is, more children are born out of wedlock and to single parents than before. Obviously, many single parents make it work, but Wilcox told me married parents are the gold standard when it comes to raising children. 2 potential incomes means more financial resources for starters, and 2 parents frequently mean the kids will get more attention, more help with homework. For what it's worth, Coons pushed back on this idea. She told me that the pressure of achieving that gold standard might force 2 parents who aren't right for each other to create an unhappy household. This is sometimes referred to as father need, but it's often better to have 1 functional, happy parent than 2 dysfunctional combatants constantly at each other's throats. And Coons told me, research shows shows that when people are anxious to find a partner to help raise their kids, they tend to have more relationships that end in breakups. That churn could rattle a child's stability. So here we encounter a situation where marriage might not be ideal. Other people might stay away from nuptials for a variety of different reasons, to focus on a career, to prioritize friendships because they like living alone. The LGBT community has a very different perspective on marriage norms after being shut out of it for so long. So yeah, it's not for everyone. That's why I don't think a falling marriage rate is the sign of a culture in decline. Actually, I'll argue that while marriages have reduced in number, they're growing in quality. That is because women are less financially constrained, because we've overcome some prudish social norms, because we've learned from the mistakes of previous generations. Marriage is more deliberate. Choice is a bigger factor than ever before. That's why divorces are actually on the decline. And choosing not to get married or getting married later in life, well, those are legitimate options too. However, when economic anxieties prevent that choice, when a lack of access to education pushes us into the undesirable category, well, there's something deeply unfair about that. So here's yet another reason to create good jobs and improve education. It will give more people the choice to get married or not. Okay.
Yeah, what I wanted to address is that quality of marriage improving. It's not improving. It just became so goddamn expensive for men to afford your asshole daughters. If you want to sound black pill, let Mr. Z sound black pill. Your asshole daughters are mean, snarky, rude, overweight, and complete, once again, assholes, and they're too expensive. I said it the way I meant it. Oh, goddamn, Z. Your consumerist, materialistic, spendthrift daughters, too damn expensive. Average men can't afford them. Then the ladies, and you gotta love it because they always blame it on this, and it's not this. Start talking about character flaw and washing your ass once a day and who's not likable, as if the women got all the personality in the world. And quite frankly, they just priced their vagina out the game. Y'all didn't think Mr. Z was gonna bring that back out. They just priced their vagina out the game. The women have priced their vagina out the game, and the only ones that can really afford them are the dudes earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if not millions. And there you go. Welcome to hell. Huh? Yeah. Be me. It's not that the quality of the marriages increased. It's a whole bunch of single, miserable people, women. Huh? The air quotes quality of the marriages increase. BS. It's just a bunch of rich dudes and upper middle class dudes getting married and staying married. The men aren't better. They're not more emotionally intelligent. They don't have more charisma and more character. They can afford first class and business class. That's the difference. Goddamn, Z. They're going on vacation 3 and 4 times a year. That's the difference. They're paying car notes. That's the difference. Luxury car notes. That's the difference. It's not air quotes better quality of marriage. It's men with more money and the ability to put their wife or girlfriend or whatever in a better situation financially, whether she has her own job or not. That is besides the point, to be frank. Huh? Mr. Z didn't actually intend for this to be borderline doomer, but here we are. I've been saying for a while now, it's going to be Elysium, Exhibit A. Huh? Now, there is something he said towards the beginning of this that I agree with, and that I've been saying for years. By the way, remember, this was published in 2018, so it's a bit old. But the trend is still accurate. Continuing, play it again, Z.
If framing marriage as a transaction seems a little cold to you, not exactly warm and fuzzy, I get it, trust me. But Wang told me one of the primary reasons most never married millennials have stayed single is because of financial reasons. That mentality, problematically, might be fostering this idea that you have to be pre-qualified for marriage. Consider, Kuntz told me that young couples...
Might be? No, that is what it is, and it's the men. The women are the ones that say, no, we got to be pre-qualified. In other words, the men have to earn even more, significantly more than her. God, how did I forget to bring up the financially, financially unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage? That was the women talking. That's not the men in their insecurity. That's the women saying you don't earn enough, not enough more. Yes, you heard that correct. That's the women saying that men don't earn enough more than the women. Huh? Money versus kindness is the title of tonight's stream. Huh? What we know, and y'all should never let Mr. Z find that out, is it says 86. I guess he rounded up, but we'll say it. 86 to 90% of millionaires are married. And more than 2/3 of them, that means more than 66% of them, don't get divorced. Now we know that 70 to 80% of divorces in America are filed by women. When a divorce is filed, 70 to 80% it was by the woman. 90% if she's college educated. Right? So what we're hearing is that millionaire men don't just have more money and tend to have more institutional education than other men, but they're just better partners. Somehow, magically, these dudes, these men, somehow magically they have more character, they're more interesting, they're more likable. I wonder what it is. Huh? They're taller and more good looking. They have hair on their head. Huh? Magically, what could it possibly be where all of a sudden the women that are married to the millionaire men aren't filing for divorce? And number one, 90% of these men are married as compared to their poor counterparts that are married at 26%. Huh? And these men are less likely to be divorced. I wonder, what could it possibly be, Z? And let's go over the money again for your average American.
Functionally, all salary data in the United States is worthless for a few reasons. Ultra-high earners heavily skew national averages upwards, which is why the average salary in this country is $64,000 a year, despite the median being 43. But even that 43 heavily skews our perception of the reality of compensation in this country. Taxes, insurance, and other payroll deductions can cause some serious differences in take-home pay depending on what state you live in. For example, Oregon has a high state income tax, while Washington has no state income tax at all. So someone making $100K in Portland would have nearly the same monthly take-home pay as someone making $80,000 a year in Seattle, because federal taxes and payroll deductions also increase with base salary. Now, obviously, rent, gas, groceries, etc., will vary from city to city and state to state, but that's kind of precisely the point. Salary is not equivalent to take-home pay or purchasing power across the board, and is why trying to calculate household income is another incredibly flawed metric. Our most recent data lists the median household income in America as $80,610, which douchebags who write personal finance books will then use to argue that every family has $5,000 disposable dollars every month to budget. Problem is, that's insanely not true. Household income combines the salary of every single person living in one unit. So if you have 4 broke-ass roommates who all make $10 an hour, then those 4 people will get marked down as living in an above median income household. From there, that household's nominal income, which is just the total amount of money that they have, gets adjusted with the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers. Problem is, the Bureau of Labor Statistics then makes what's called a hedonic adjustment to the Consumer Price Index, which completely ignores inflation if a product got better in quality. So
we're going to play that intro again. Shout out to all the new subscribers. What you have to appreciate is Mr. Z spams the hell out of these video clips. You're going to see them a lot. You're going to see them a lot in one stream. You're going to see them a lot throughout the year. Mr. Z spams, I drill the message home. Shout out to all the new subscribers. This is Mr. Z letting you know, Some of these clips you're gonna get tired of. You'll be like, God damn, Z, retire the clip, please, for the love of God. And Mr. Z gonna play it again. Exhibit A.
Functionally, all salary data in the United States is worthless for a few reasons. Ultra-high earners heavily skew national averages upwards, which is why the average salary in this country is $64,000 a year, despite the median being $43,000. But even
Average salary being $64,000 a year, median being $43,000 a year. Y'all heard correctly. Now, I wonder, what would the marriage rate and divorce rate be for the men in those income brackets? Huh? I wonder. Especially when so many women sound like, well,
if you are a woman who dates men and also says, I'm just going to stay single, I'm just going to stay to myself, this is too much, I shouldn't have to do all of this to be with a man, hear me clearly when I fucking say this. Oops. I think we should all be taking breaks from men from time to time, but here's the truth. If you are going to deal with a man, if you have your windows of coming off of a break and you're dealing with a man, you are expending energy. If you're dealing with him as an unreformed pick-me, not only are you doing it for peanuts, but you're also doing it in a way that does not protect yourself. If you are still believing in this fairy tale bullshit for the life of me, please block me, because I do not want to poison your feed with stuff that you are willing to argue and be wrong about. You wouldn't be arguing with me, you would be beating a dead horse. I'm not going to debate about it. If and when you decide to deal with a man when you come off of your breaks, it is energy spent. Don't think you're going to be an A+ student in his eyes. You're going to be a goddamn fool. Genuinely don't give a damn if you're an empath, if you're neurodivergent, that's me, or if you're ovulating or just bored. Stop using Webster's terms to justify pick-me behavior. Be strategic, protect yourself, respect yourself, love yourself, and ask for some goddamn money and stop pissing me off.
and there you go. The whole message was decenter men, and what did she say at the end? Get the money. Oh, shout out to all of you who have been trying to convince men that the reason why they're single is because they lack character, right? They're not interesting enough. They're not likable enough. Because when we put the microphone in front of your daughters and we let them talk long enough, because you know in the beginning, they're going to sound just like you. When we keep on prodding and poking, no pun, maybe a pun, right? When we let them talk long enough, it comes down to the money. It always comes down to the money. Now, on an individual basis, that might not be the end of the world. What happens when you scale that and you have millions of women across America that think like that? What happens to your birth rate? Oops, and your marriage rate. Yikes. Huh? Yeah. You see how Mr. Z tied this in a nice little bow? The problem you have is simple. The women have priced their vagina out the game. We didn't even talk about the weight yet. Horrendous. We didn't talk about the attitude yet. Atrocious. We didn't talk about the demeanor yet. Horrible. The women use their education and their status to price more and more men out the game. It wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't a problem. Z, what the hell did you just say? It wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't a problem. Huh? Let's play that anchor video one more again.
So if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Alexander. Before YouTube, I spent 8 years researching, consulting, and teaching about the job market. My whole deal is basically understanding what's going on with young adults and money in the United States. And when you look into the data about wealth, you find that American millionaires live very different lives than finance bros would have you believe. According to even the most conservative surveys, American millionaires are nearly 3 times more educated than the general population, with over half of them having at least a master's degree. Not only that, but 70% of millionaires are not even entrepreneurs. They are employees who work for somebody else, but who manage to save money and make smart investments over several decades. And just to add insult to injury for the more red-pilly finance bros, 90% of American millionaires are married, with over 2/3 of them never getting a divorce. That means that the typical American millionaire
90% of millionaires are married, with over 2/3 of them never getting divorced. Huh? So whenever y'all grandparents or you're out of the game, been out of the game for decades, ass aunts and uncles and parents, your older cousins, them at a family get together, start talking to you about how these men are not on the women's level and how the men are scared of marriage and commitment and how they scared of women, your cool ass but still kind of out of touch ass exer uncle. I'm sorry, exers, I gotta throw you under the bus. Your cool ass exer uncle, but he kind of out of touch. He don't really get it. He like generation banging on millennials and Gen Z. Just let him know, no, the women are all about their money. Ain't no talk about character anymore. It does matter. It does matter. I want everyone to understand you're being cool, being collected, being calm, being interesting. All of that matters. Wait for it after the money. Now, the women do want someone with charisma. They do want someone who's likable, right? They do want someone who's good looking. Looks matter. Looks matter. It definitely matters. That might be second. That might be second, right? Status matters. That matters too. Definitely matters. But what dominates the room, depending on where she is mentally, but it's definitely the money. Then looks or status. It depends. It depends. Huh? And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. But wait for it. There is something wrong with that when you scale it. Individual women being about their money and saying, I don't care what I do and what I own and what I earn. It's top shelf or nothing. An individual woman saying that is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world to have one or two Ebony K. Williams running around America. That's not the end of the world. There's nothing wrong with that. Huh? What happens when you scale that to tens of millions of women across a couple generations? Huh? Your childbearing years. What happens when your millennials and your Gen Z women think like this? What happens then? With a healthy dose, a toxic dose of feminist propaganda. What happens then? What happens to your population then? What happens to your tax base? Huh? Now, the ladies could talk about whatever they want to talk about. No, I'm worried. I'm an environmentalist. I'm worried about the environment. No, not enough men in college. No, the men are not likable. No, the men don't wash their ass. No, the men lack character. No, whatever the women want to say, but we know it's the money. Mr. Z, stop it. I know. Huh? Now let's read some of these super chats. And the Arena Revive says, and thank you for the super chat. New subs. Z, make sure to drill the fundamentals. Hey, look. We need the fundamentals, the foundation. Huh? And to everyone, to all you Gen Z, this is not, and this does not mean you use this as an excuse to not strive and to not work hard and to not make some good money. Huh? This does not mean that you just become a recluse and go hide out in your mom's basement. But what it does mean, and why Mr. Z is doing this stream, Mr. Z Ramen, is so that you can be armed and prepared for the environment outside and stop letting these weirdos lie to you. Stop letting these weirdo tradcons lie to you. Stop letting these weirdo leftists lie to you. It's about the money. Now, Mr. Z ain't telling you to do something illegal or risky for the money, but I am saying it's about the money. That doesn't mean because you don't have the money, you're automatically doomed. But it does mean the money would make life a whole lot easier, including interacting with the ladies. Huh? Everyone else is lying. They're lying through their teeth. Huh? So thank you for the super chat. The Arena Revised. Yes, new sub Z. Make sure to drill the fundamentals. That I do. That I do, right? And let's read this from Dwayne. And don't worry about all you other brothers with the super chats. We get into them. We get into them. And Dwayne says, "Hey Z, we are headed to the catchphrase of Cyberpunk 2077. There are no happy endings in Night City. Oh, the way Ish is going today. I don't know, right? How did I not highlight this when I was reading it? Let's read it again." And Dwayne says, "Hey Z, we are headed to the catchphrase of Cyberpunk 2077. There are no happy endings in Night City. Quote, there are no happy endings in Night City. The way Ish is going today. I don't know. I don't think so. I think even for working poor people, working class people, lower middle class people, it's not the end of the world. But I do think there's a growing chasm, and that chasm is going to have all type of weird side effects, deleterious effects on us as a society when you have these people who are just they're just not connected to us in any way, shape, or form, and they will be borderline lowercase g gods on earth. Huh? It's not the end of the world, but the disconnect between an ultra billionaire and your everyday person earning their 40, 50, 60 grand a year, 30 grand a year, is just insane. They practically don't even live on the same planet. Like, they live on the same planet, but they practically don't. And when you scale that, right, and where for the good and bad of it all, you're seeing that with the Trump administration. And like folks that are worth hundreds of millions and folks that are worth billions, they are running amok with all of his policies, both domestic, international. It's one thing to know the president on a first name basis. It's one thing for you to have him on speed dial. It's a whole other thing when domestic and foreign policy is dictated by a handful of ultra billionaires. And maybe if you're lucky and you're super connected, multi millionaires. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's the end of the world for everyday folks. Us. That is not what Mr. Z is saying. What I am saying is currently, as the society is constructed and how we have been educated, indoctrinated, and socialized, it's difficult for us to come together in groups to fight for the things that we think that we deserve. And what ends up happening is when you scale that, you have the Mark Zuckerbergs that could just make a phone call versus the you who just got to struggle. Huh? The Warren Buffetts of the world who just got to make a phone call. The Adelsons Adelson now, who just got to make a phone call. Huh? The Tim Cooks who just got to make a phone call. Jeff Bezos who just has to make a phone call. Clearly Elon Musk who just has to make a phone call. And you. So Mr. Z is not saying it's the end of the world for you, but it is going to be seriously difficult for you if it's just you. Huh? Hyperindividuality in the era of the billionaires is just a recipe for disaster. Hyperindividuality for the masses in the era where policy is being dictated by billionaires? Yeah. Where Elon Musk could create Doge and just take a hacksaw to all different government agencies that were investigating him and his businesses. Huh? It's a recipe for disaster. Oh boy, Z about to sound like the goddamn weirdo feminist. This is when you need network. This is when you need community. This is when you need your boys. Huh? Yeah. Huh? And thank you for the super chat, Dwayne. Thank you for the super chat. Mr. DJ, thank you for letting me know. And Mr. DJ says, Mr. DJ 76 says, 22 likes doesn't equal 62 watching. Hit the like button. And actually, right now, we're up to 65 watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right? What BGS say, I'm okay with y'all not spending no money, but y'all ain't even added a like. What was it? Bruce on Wayne said, stop stealing internet. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Stop stealing internet, people. And right? Okay. And No Hero says, things will change when people realize for every billionaire, and thank you for the super chat. And once again, No Hero said, things will change when people realize for every billionaire, there's a million people that can swing something. Quote of the year. Hey, I hear, hey, when you say that, all Mr. Z thinks of is Mario's brother. If you get Mr. Z's drift. Trell, what year was that revolution again? 17 what? 17 what? We're not talking about the one in America. We're talking about the one, the one over there in Europe. The most famous one in Europe. What year was that again? Mr. Z is purposely speaking in code, right? But yeah, you look. When you say that, No Heroes, Mr. Z is thinking about Mario's brother. And whether we need dozens, if not hundreds, of Mario's brothers to handle some business so some of these people could get their mind right. Right? I'm just saying. Thank you, Gilgami. Gilgami understood what I was trying to say. Gilgami understood the assignment. Hey, I'm just saying. Maybe we need to go back to 1789. Huh? You know, shoulders and heads maybe need to be separated for a few elites, and then, you know, maybe they'll get their mind right. Just saying. Huh? I see what you're saying, No Heroes. Hey, for real though. Because let's get this right. Y'all gonna hoard everything? Y'all gonna hoard everything? So somewhere in my community tab, I posted from was it some more news, and they covered, you know, millionaires and billionaires and all of the research that has been done about their fake ass philanthropy and all the work that has been done with people in positions of extreme power and wealth, and how they don't even see the world the same anymore. They don't see people as people the same anymore. They're like, it just completely transformed your mind. You're cold, right? And so those folks, Mr. Z was asking a rhetorical question. Yes, they will hoard everything. They will hoard everything and come up with whatever weirdo rationale that they feel they need to come up with, right? So No Heroes, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, you hear me, the Arena Revise? I'm just saying. Hey, but remember how he met his end also. Sometimes you got to go out. Sometimes even the revolutionaries got to go out. We know this. Rest in peace to all the greats, from the Martins to the Malcolms to the Medgar Evers, right? To the Huey P's, even though his death was a little different, right? To the Fred Hamptons, to, you know, we know. But yeah, the Arena Revise, hey, remember how he met his end also. Huh? That's how it can be sometimes. Just saying. And Dwayne says, and no, Mr. Z, not forget about the rest of you. Dwayne says, or we need someone like Jean-Jacques from Haiti. Hey, I'm just saying, look, these folks will hoard everything. The houses, the affordable cars, the lifestyle, upward mobility, the women. Goddamn, Z. Now, are they literally hoarding the women? No. What they are doing is influencing the way we think, the way the women think. That alone, Mr. Z, are you saying women can't think for themselves? Anyway, continuing, the way it works is, huh? They get to set the tempo. Okay. There's a way to handle that. Just saying. So yeah, Dwayne, look, these folks, they're the ones having children in nuclear family. Now, it's not just millionaires having that. That's not true. With that, the folks we're speaking about are the ones having children in wedlock, in nuclear family, less likely to get divorced, right? Living in nice neighborhoods, sending their kids not even to private school. Sometimes dope ass, really nice public schools, because the way taxes are divvied out to pay for school in America, it's racist as hell. Oh, and classist, duh. Huh? And they did it like that on purpose, but of course they did. That's why 2 schools could be public schools, but one of the public schools is state of the art, and you like, God damn, this look like a well-funded private school. And the other school could be a public school, and it's like, ew, what the hell? How old are these books? How old is this computer? God damn, how old is this building? Huh? Just saying. Huh? Anyway, Dwayne, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. All right, continuing. Let's see, because I know I missed a couple of people. And what's that? Jaws Bible says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Says, shout out to you, Z. Yeah, we're tired of the excuses they give us. Look, I'm saying that men are not owed women. Women owe men nothing. This society, outside of making sure its citizens are safe and can prosper without too much interference from government and without monopolies stepping on your freaking head, men are not owed anything, right? Men are not owed success. Men are not owed successful romantic relationships, heterosexual relationships with women. Mr. Z is saying that. With that, going to what John's Bible says, the excuses we give men, the insults that we levy and direct towards men because of women's bad behavior, because capitalism run amok, right? And because this weird relationship, disgusting, toxic relationship between feminism and this neoliberal version of capitalism, Milton Friedman-esque, right? Ayn Rand version of capitalism. All anyone has for men, particularly black men, are excuses, right? And so, yeah, Jaws Bible, Mr. Z, and it looks like the rest of you are done with the excuses. And so the rest of this society get what it gets. Y'all got excuses? Well, men say, guess what? I guess we'll be the beautiful ones.
This is why everyone is single and men stop trying. This is the mouse paradise, a scientific experiment from the 1960s. They made the perfect world for mice with unlimited food, safety, and no predators. In the beginning, they placed 4 females and 4 males and let them multiply. The population exploded, hundreds, then thousands. Then something strange happened. They stopped mating. And within 4 years, they were extinct. But why? According to scientists, the reason was social interaction overload. Just like humans on social media today. They were in 24/7 interaction with thousands of others. Too much stimulation, too much competition for social status, and this led them to lose the ability to form bonds, to mate and raise their young. Many males became so-called the beautiful ones. They lost interest in females. They just groomed themselves all day and withdrew completely because they could not compete in this chaos anymore. And the females followed by losing interest in males. So no mating, and they all just died without having babies. Since 2010,
Yeah. Increasing status competition. I wonder, and the men became the beautiful ones and just completely stopped. Huh. That don't sound familiar at all. No, 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 not at all. Nope, nope, no, nope. Western society, no. Developing world, no. Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay if we continue down this road because y'all don't want to learn the lesson. Nope, everything's gonna be strizzy. Huh? Once again, the John's Bible. Shout out to Uzi. Yeah, we're tired of the excuses they give us. Huh? Right? Yeah. Huh. Modernity without correcting for what that means for our interactions in this kind of hyper competitive environment. Well, you get what you get, and it sound good. Shout out to all the winners. It sound good to just say, well, let the losers die out. Hey, the Arena Rivaz, what did you say again about Robespierre? Anyway, just saying, just anyway, shout out to Luigi and them boys. Mr. Z wasn't trying to say the name, but I said it. Oh well. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, John's Bible. Thank you for the super chat, and let's continue because we got a couple more. Oh, Dr. Thunder's in here, or at least he was in here, right? And shout out to Dr. Thunder. And Dwayne says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Dwayne says, the elites have turned everything into a luxury item, Z, from owning a home to even buying a car to even getting an apartment. Shout out to them being able to put America in the worst pincer move. Bruh, look, it sound good. Oh, it sound good. Luxury apartment this, luxury car that. Oh, luxury item this, luxury bags, vacation to luxury resorts. And you know, the women especially, oh, they eat that up. I really wanted to say no pun, but nah, pun. Yeah, definitely a pun. The women eat that up. We know they eat that up, and the pun is included because, well,
So if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Alexander. Before YouTube, I spent 8 years researching, consulting, and teaching about the job market. My whole deal is basically understanding what's going on with young adults and money in the United States. And when you look into the data about wealth, you find that American millionaires live very different lives than finance bros would have you believe. According to even the most conservative surveys, American millionaires are nearly 3 times more educated than the general population, with over half of them having at least a master's degree. Not only that, but 70% of millionaires are not even entrepreneurs. They are employees who work for somebody else, but who manage to save money and make smart investments over several decades. And just to add insult to injury for the more red-pilly finance bros, 90% of American millionaires are married, with over 2/3 of them never getting a divorce. That means that the typical American...
So yes, the women do literally eat that up. Oh boy. The luxury this, the luxury that, the luxury this, and the luxury that. Right? And so if the elites want to price your everyday man out the game, well, they better hope and pray that they could get to them goddamn bunkers in time. Get on those planes and helicopters and get to that bunker and hope whoever is with them don't decide to change the script. Right? Doesn't decide, you know what, on second thought, yeah. Huh? Just saying. I've said it before. So everyday men get the assholes, the overweights, the snarkies, the baby mamas. That's what everyday men get. And the millionaires get their pick of the litter. And somehow millionaire men don't have no character flaw, right? Buddy Rowe, that used to be the head of WeWorks, over here jogging, walking in barefoot, not taking a shower. But guess what? He's married and he's a small hat. So there's that part too. Huh? Musty, sweaty, jog sweat. Walking around the office building barefoot. But he's married. Yeah, but he doesn't lack character. Huh? Because he's perfectly likable. Huh? Yeah. Huh? And once again, Dwayne, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And we know the women, that's the type of time they're on because they say it.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Are you ready for this?
Oh shit!
And they're telling the men to stay in the dusty tax bracket. Oh, you gotta love it. Right? Yeah. So as Dwayne said, the elites have turned everything into a luxury item, Z, from owning a home to even buying a car to even getting an apartment. Shout out to them being able to put America in the worst pincer move, bro. It's horrible. But we know how this could go. I ain't saying nothing, Mr. Z trying to keep his channel, right? Huh. And Gilgami says, 2/3 millionaires never divorced, so even a million plus only gets you only 67% success rate, 33% failure rate. He said over 2/3. So yeah, either way, yeah, you're right. But yeah, 67% success rate, 33 failure rate. The masses don't have those stats in the West. Yeah. I'm really covering this today to emphasize it's not character flaw in men, black men in specific. We're not going to include white dudes in this. We don't know what's going on in their households. But for black men in specific, it's not character flaw. It's not that you're not likable. It's that you're not white and rich. God damn, Z, you said that out loud. I said it and I meant it and I want someone to prove me wrong. Good luck on that one. Huh? Stop lying to our sons. Stop lying to the men, particularly the black men. Tell them get the money first. Work on your crap ass attitude and your messed up demeanor and worldview after the fact. Even though you probably won't get the money with that crap ass demeanor and worldview, but you get Mr. Z's point. Huh? So thank you for the comment, Gilgami, and let's continue because there was a couple of other, I think, super chats that I might have missed. No, actually, no, Dwayne was the first, and thank you for that super chat, Dwayne. Thank you for that. And let's move on to what Ari Lennox said. By the way, Mr. Z finds Ari Lennox to be attractive. She is pretty to Mr. Z. Sultry voice. Looks pretty chill, but we already know them neo soul kind of singy songy chicks. Yeah, they be coming off like that. Shout out to Lauryn Hill. Anyway, they come off like that, and then we be finding out all type of crazy stuff that's in their closet later on. Huh? We be finding out what they get into. Shout out to Jill Scott. Anyway, and yeah, and all different type of stuff. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Anyway, yeah. Continuing. Shout out to Ari Lennox.
I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, It's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't.
Yeah.
And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's
absolutely.
your sign?
Okay, Mr. Z used to say this years ago. Shout out to BGS and Black Uru. They might remember Charles Faulkner Jr., the Roger Report. Shout out to all my day one. Shout out to the people that was listening to Z before I even started my own channel. Maybe y'all remember Mr. Z saying this. Stability is boring and there's nothing wrong with it. Goddamn. Stability is boring and and there's nothing wrong with that. I'll use y'all language. I know a lot of the brothers in here are like, no, stability is not boring, Z. No, let's go with it. Let's say what they. Yes, stability is boring. You could take your chaotic, exciting, want that crap ass over there and deal with those dudes over there. That's gonna turn your life upside down, and hopefully, eventually, one of them will mature up and not do that. Good luck on that one. Good luck on that one. Thank you, Trill. This is what I'm saying. Boring is good. You know, we're not talking about like 22-year-olds. We're not talking about 22 and 21-year-olds and 23-year-olds. We're talking about women in their late 20, 28, 29, 30, 33, 35, 40, 45, 50. God damn. She said she would be falling asleep with the sweet energies. Good guys. Saint Cyr, this is what I'm saying. And Saint Cyr says stability equal normalcy, normalcy equal boring. What Mr. Z will say to all black men in the black manosphere, especially you young brothers, if you smell Pookie on her, if she give you trying to hide Pookie in the closet, clearly I'm not talking about baby mamas right now. If she give you any whiff, Mr. Z does believe in forgiveness. Mr. Z does believe that people can change, and sometimes people do change. But this is the one thing Mr. Z ain't budget on. If she give you, she's trying to reform from Pookie fever, leave her where she stands. She got a taste for that. Leave her where she stands. Don't be the experimental guy. Recipe for heartbreak. You see me, Trell? And Trell says, Pookie residuals. You hear me? But to everyone, don't think it's just a black women thing. Oh, that it is not.
I'm not comfortable. In fact, I've like tried really hard to be attracted to men who like treat me well. It's boring. It's not only boring, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. So, okay.
It is not just a black woman thing. Yes, this is the black manosphere. Yes, we are more likely or more apt to speak about black women and their effery and their bad behavior and their weirdo mentality and worldview, but it's not just a black woman thing. Becky over here saying the same thing. You hear me, Saint Cyr? And Saint Cyr says it doesn't make them tingle downstairs. And this is where passport bros enter the chat. Huh? This is where passport bros enter the chat. Passport bros say, for my integrity, I don't want to be a bad boy. I don't want to imitate and cosplay bad boy. I want a great life, but I want some normalcy and stability. And I don't want someone who's going to step out on me for excitement. Huh? Yeah. So, shout out to Ari Lennox for saying the thing. And she said she looks at those other people, those men who got married, and be like, it could have been me. But I didn't appreciate that air quote sweet energy. Good guy. Right? And if Ari Lennox is a millionaire, famous singer, attractive, and she's telling you she has a bit of regret, or at least she's implying and suggesting that, you think these everyday women don't? They're full of crap. All those decenter men, women, huh? All those women that talk crazy about their ex like they never fumbled a relationship, they're full of crap. Ari Lennox, it's still right now, we don't know how long it's going to last, still has her pick of the litter. If she's implying and suggesting a bit of regret, you better believe your everyday woman walking around here, black women, have regret. They're just hiding it under a 10 tons of pride and bitterness. Well, damn, Z. Just saying. Play it again, Z.
I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, it's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't. Yeah. And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's
absolutely.
your sign?
Yeah. Huh? Say that, Passport OG. And Passport OG with the 3-pointer, right? Passport OG says, when oil ain't $200 a barrel, you can worry about trivial-ish like, quote, the ick. Hunger has no, quote, ick. Look, all of these are luxury beliefs, Passport OG. All this stuff the ladies are saying, their valuation of men, is just luxury beliefs. And by the way, that's part of the convenience life that we've created for people in general, Americans, but particularly women, right? Particularly women. It's just, this is the cost. The cost is that you have just a bunch of, I don't want to call them immature, because it's not up for me to decide what they should value. What I will say is, at scale, this is a problem. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Mr. Z, you keep on saying this one thing because it's true. And y'all should blame KMS for Mr. Z keep on saying at scale. Shout out to KMS. if it was just Ari Lennox or that white woman that I just played a minute ago, it wouldn't be the end of the world if it's 1 or 2 women, 1 or 2% of women in your society. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But when you scale that weirdo worldview where the good guy, the nice guy it just dry the vagina right on up. And I'm falling asleep on the phone with him. When you scale that to millions of reproductive age women, oh, you have a major problem on your hands. When reproductive age women are thinking like this in the millions, tens of millions, oh, you got a problem on your hands. So I agree with you, Pastor OG. Right? And let's read this from Dwayne. And Dwayne says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe to the super chat. Dwayne says, I wanted the toxic dude in my 20s, and now I'm in my 30s, and I need the sweet man that I rejected to come and save me. And to brothers my age, 25 and younger, don't save these women, bro. Look, and it's Ari Lennox talking like this. It's not Claudia Jordan. Remember, Claudia Jordan, she didn't say all of that. She did not say all of that, but we gonna throw that in there anyway. Claudia Jordan is 50-something talking like this. What you talking about, Z? For all of you, my new subscribers who never seen this before, Claudia Jordan. Remember, Claudia Jordan been in music videos. She done did what The Price is Right. What music video was she in? Was it Joe's? Was it Joe? I Want to Know. Whatever music video, Claudia Jordan, very, especially when she was younger, very attractive, right? Black Italian mix, I think. Funny too. Shout out to Claudia Jordan. Her couple of times being on Corey Holcomb over the past decade, maybe decade and a half. Funny. She genuinely is an attractive woman with an actual personality. But she fumbled the bag. And well, this is Claudia Jordan in her 50s.
For your night. That's a very pro-woman, amazing, like strong, independent woman. But might I add another angle? I would feel like, why the hell ain't no one trying to scoop me up to save my life? Am I ugly? Are they better looking than me? Like, why are they getting saved and I'm over here working, taking on extra shifts now because she got Richard Gere that came and scooped her up and now she got an easy life and now I got extra corns on my toes and my back hurts because no one's saving me. So you have a very positive attitude. I would have been a little bitter like, why the fuck? Why not me? Why not? I don't want to be irresponsible. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of the goddamn cape. Somebody save me. I want to be Julia Roberts on Hollywood Boulevard in cheap shoes when some guy comes and saves me. I have worked hard since I was 14 and I had to pay. I'm sick of it, Erica.
I do understand.
I understand what you're saying. Classy and independent. It's thankless. I've been dating since the 1980 something, and I'm still single. I'm tired, Erica. You found your man. Don't hate. Let me live this. Let me vent. You're off the strip. I am still on it. I'm in the trenches, and it sucks. I'm sick of being independent. I fucking hate paying for my fucking Range Rover, my other car, my mortgage insurance, my freaking cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. I am sick of it. I need some guy with bad health to jump on in and interrupt and say, let me take you off your shift. You've been working hard enough. So that's cute what she's doing. I'm not doing that. We are different. I'm tired. I've proven myself. And it only impresses other women. She's like, oh, that's amazing. My friend's independent. These men don't care. Come and save me. Some chic, minus the dookie. Just please come and save me. I'm tired. I'm tired, Erica. I don't want to do it no more. Where's my Melania? I want the Melania Trump plan. I'm sick. I've proven myself. Since 1988.
88.
I'm tired. I was 15 out of paper route.
Damn, that's a long time.
72 clients. 30-cent tip for some of you bastards in East Providence, Rhode Island on 2nd Street. I remember I gave you papers 7 days a week, and on Sunday you gave me a 30-cent tip. I'm tired. So I'm glad it worked out for you, but I'm not there.
Being a strong, independent woman since 1988 is a lot, Claudia.
Since Salt and Pepper came out.
That's a lot.
I'm tired.
Damn.
So, yes.
Damn.
Excuse me if I'm a little frustrated. So I envy the girls that got taken off the pole, so to say.
Nobody said nothing about no damn pole.
But metaphorically.
Yeah, nobody said. What my point was, because here's the thing. The point was that this is a...
Take off the cape, Erica. We lost the election. We're not doing this anymore.
I'm not...
Soft life. Hookers are winning.
All about...
Hoes are winning. Hookers are in the White House again. First lady, if you will. I'm over it. No one cares. Nobody cares about independence anymore. But I respect it. But they don't.
I get it.
And Claudia is another one who admitted, and she did an interview not too long after this one. No, it's more recent. It's maybe like 3 or 4 months old. And she did a recent interview and she admitted, well, that she might have fumbled the bag. She might have missed out on great opportunities with great guys. She overlooked certain things and she just ran out of time. And well, hopefully Ari Lennox doesn't allow that to happen to her. But hey, you know, women don't want to hear the clock is ticking, right? Women hate to hear that the clock is ticking. But Miss Lennox, the clock is ticking. The sweet energies that you keep on overlooking because they're not interesting enough. Right? That's how the ladies sound, everyone. Not smart, not wise. Luxury beliefs. Right? Luxury beliefs. Weird. And let's read this. And once again, Dwayne, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And let's read this from No Heroes. And No Hero says, thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. No Hero says, Keisha was programmed to keep us perpetually poor. I bet those 2/3 married millionaires are bored with the world at their fingertips. Wake up, hashtag SYSBM. So Dr. T was the first time I've ever heard this. And I remember listening to this, forever ago. And Dr. T. Hassan Johnson was the first one that presented, or at least the first time I heard it presented, that marriage doesn't actually better Black men's life. We do it out of sense of obligation, out of culture, because we want to, because we love her that much where we want to do it, and we pretty much want to take the vagina off the market. But yeah, marriage doesn't actually benefit Black men the way it does every other man. So like our health outcomes don't necessarily become better. I don't know. I don't even think that we even necessarily live longer either. That one I don't remember. But I know like our health outcomes, our likeliness to have a heart attack doesn't decrease. All the stuff that is different for non-Black men when they're in marriage does not change for Black men. Now, to be fair, I will not put all the onus on Black women on that one. That a lot of that has to do with, quite frankly, an anti-Black racist system. Damn, Z, you being way more gracious than the women would be talking about this. I know. That's why we're Black men and they're Black women. We don't got to be petty. With that, I won't put all the onus on Black women with that. But to be fair, no, some of it does belong to them. Because most of them are not pleasant. God damn, Z, you said that out loud. Let's just call a thing a thing. Most of them are not pleasant. They're not alleviating stress. They're adding on to it. God damn, you said that out loud, Z. I know. And they know it. Ooh, god damn. Huh? So keeping us perpetually poor, maybe not. Maybe not. Definitely not intentionally. But I will say this. Your average Black woman doesn't necessarily, at least for Black men. Now they might do the whole great wife thing for white dudes and non-Black men, but for Black men, Black women don't necessarily make your life better. Probably. Right? And the marriage ain't gonna last that long. Goddamn, Z. Sorry, ladies, but hey, that's what the numbers say. And if you don't believe Z, go look it up. Health outcomes for Black men when married don't improve. And if it does, it's negligible. That it don't even. Ooh, Mr. Z almost dropped it. It doesn't even register. So it's infinitesimal. So thank you for the super chat. No Heroes, Mr. Z. This is turning into a borderline doomer stream. Right? Mr. Z will still say that if you get the chance, and if you meet a woman worth a damn, a Black woman worth a damn, grab her hand and run and keep her away from her weirdo friends, her weirdo single friends, for the love of God. Keep her away from her weirdo single friends before she makes sure she's single and, you know, do the Macarena on your heart. Continuing. Right? And Dwayne also says, and thank you for the super chat once again. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Hey Z, these luxury beliefs can only last so long because in the real world, it's only about what helps you and society survive, not personal comfort. Yeah, and you're right about them not last. They can't last in a adverse environment, in a difficult environment, right? Like, this was going to happen regardless, everyone. I want everyone to know this was always going to happen. When you make life a bit easier, we value things differently. That includes men also. I don't necessarily fault the women, especially on an individual basis. But at scale, too many women with these weirdo luxury beliefs causes a societal problem. I'm not getting on the women for liking what they like. That's the beauty of modern technology. That's the beauty of modernity, right? That's the beauty. That it's beautiful. Social media, the internet, AC buildings, cars that could parallel park themselves, cars that could drive themselves, paved roads, literal light at nighttime, light bulbs, beautiful technology that we've been enjoying for the past few centuries that have culminated to this, right? High-speed internet, which Mr. Z is utilizing right now, right? All the beautiful technology is what helped to create these weirdo women and their weirdo luxury beliefs. You start taking those things away, or you deal with a cataclysmic situation, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, and all that crap's out the window. Mr. Z's not a big dude. Mr. Z's not particularly muscular. Guess what? The big muscular dudes, those are going to be the dudes that they're going to run everything, and the super fast guys, and still the super smart guys too, right? But the women get to have the luxury beliefs because they live in especially when you live in America, relatively peaceful for centuries now, right? The last time America had a major issues with the British at 1819 when they burned down the White House. And ever since then, you've been pretty safe. Yeah, the Civil War in the 1860s, but outside of that, you've been relatively safe. Outside of Pearl Harbor, we know every once in a while there's, an attack, we'll say. A terrorist attack. Y'all know what Mr. Z trying to say. But for the most part, relatively safe. Now, when you're black, that's a whole different conversation. When you're a black man, that's also a different conversation. But yeah, the women got to enjoy their luxury beliefs, and you lived under the umbrella of the US petrodollar. Oh, and being low-key being subsidized by other nations. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And that's why they sound so goddamn insane and delusional. And there you go. And thank you for the super chat, Dwayne. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? Yeah. I said 1819. My bad. War of 1812. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, Mr. O. War of 1812. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, sir. Right. Exactly. Trail says 20 years ago, we were still mostly using dial-up. There you go. Huh? Man. And Most Fet says, shout out to Most Def. Most Fet says, outstanding cover art. Look, all these images you've been seeing, some of the older stuff is from Compassion and Callous. Shout out to Compassion and Callous, right? And he's doing the Lord's work also. And the newer stuff that you see on my channel is shout out to Louis Conyer, also known as Red Pill Sleeper Cell, right? And apparently them brothers are working together, Compassion and Callous and Red Pill Sleeper Cell. So we pretty much got our own version of Star Trek over here. Pharrell and the Asian dude, Why doesn't anyone know the Asian dude's name? Mr. Z done forgot the Asian dude's name. Anyway, yeah, we have our own Star Trek over here between Compassion and Callous and Red Pill Sleeper Cell. So, you know. Yeah. So on that note, everyone, we're not gonna it's not gonna be too long of a stream today. We'll play the anchor video, and we will play the Ari Linux one more again, and we'll get out of here in a minute. But once again, let Z say it. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and let's play the anchor video.
So if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Alexander. Before YouTube, I spent 8 years researching, consulting, and teaching about the job market. My whole deal is basically understanding what's going on with young adults and money in the United States. And when you look into the data about wealth, you find that American millionaires live very different lives than finance bros would have you believe. According to even the most conservative surveys, American millionaires are nearly 3 times more educated than the general population, with over half of them having at least a master's degree. Not only that, but 70% of millionaires are not even entrepreneurs. They are employees who work for somebody else, but who manage to save money and make smart investments over several decades. And just to add insult to injury for the more red-pilly finance bros, 90% of American millionaires are married, with over 2/3 of them never getting a divorce. That means that the typical American millionaire is a highly educated employee who makes boring investments over the long term and who is deeply loyal to their family and friends. But yet, despite that truth, since the 70s, there has been a well-funded army of authors and now content creators trying to convince young adults to drop out of school, to become some obnoxious alpha male that hates women, to start businesses with extremely high failure rates like real estate and dropshipping, and to put money in risky investments that also have extremely high failure rates like cryptocurrencies and NFTs.
He says to become some alpha male that hates women. And yet, just literally not even a full 2 minutes before he said that, he admits that millionaires, 90% married, 2/3 of them not getting divorced. Do you think it's that the average men hate women? Or are they just realizing, you said red pill, those were your words, for the red pilly of us, as you said, or do they appreciate the environment and so they just stay away from your average woman? Because what's the point? And Mr. Z's not about sounding that defeatist. I do not want the young men to sound defeatist. What I am saying is I understand. That's why I don't mock them and make fun of them like everybody else in society. Huh? So is it that they hate women, or is they that they appreciate that the women belong to an elite rich white men? God damn, Z, you said that out loud. That just about all the women, I'll be nice and not say all, just about all the women, minds, and maybe the vagina too, belong to the elite rich white men. Uh-oh. Anyway, continuing, and shout out to Ari Linux.
I think...
Or Ari Linux? Ari Linux. There we go.
I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, it's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't. Yeah. And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's
absolutely.
your sign?
Shout out to Ari Linux for separating sexy from fun. I understood what she meant before she even said it. right? Sexy people don't necessarily have to be extremely aesthetically pleasing. It's their aura, it's their walk, it's their talk, right? It's certain physical attributes, but they don't necessarily have to be fine, as she was alluding to here, right? Now, when you put in context what she is saying is them bad boys got a sexy aura and spirit about them. Huh? The dudes that don't have the air quotes sweet energy, it sounds weird saying that as a man, but okay, fine. They lacked that sexiness. Miss Ari Lennox, you might want to reevaluate why you find those men attractive and sexy. Who imprinted on you as a kid? What imprint of a man do you have in your mind? And shout out to you for differentiating sexy from fine. I appreciate exactly what she was saying. Huh? So on that note, everyone, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. As a matter of fact, before we do our outro, like, share, subscribe. Thank you button for the replay gang. Hype button also, please and thank you for the replay gang. Remember, Mr. Z has membership. I'm just waiting for a few more of you to scroll in. I set the bar way too high for when I was going to start doing membership streams and whatnot. But I done bought it back down, right? Bought it down a little bit, but I am waiting for a few more people to sign up, and then we will be doing our membership only stuff. I'm going to try to refrain from, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to refrain from turning everything into membership only, right? I don't like when other folks do that, or I'm just not going to do it. It's not my style or speed that half my content is going to be membership only. I'm not going to do that, or 2/3 or whatnot. So yeah, but we are going to have stuff for members only, right? So yeah. And I'm Waffle says, oh yeah, no, I can. And I'll put the link in the description box. And I'm Waffle says, can we get that link or clip to the video breaking down liquid net worth versus home equity from your last stream? Yeah. That's the same guy, by the way. Let me show you. This guy.
Functionally, all salary data in the United States is. So if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Alexander. Before YouTube, I spent 8 years.
That's the same guy. So I got you. Don't worry about it. And on that note, everyone, talking about that, and thank you for that comment. I'm Waffles. On that note, everyone, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And Mr. Z out. Once again, remember, those clips were from non-Manosphere dudes. That's why I tell y'all to check out non-Manosphere related content, because every once in a while somebody will drop a gem or say something, and it's a perfect. By the way, if y'all ever see something like what Mr. Z played, send it to Z. Give me the timestamp, because some of these non-Manosphere, non-Black Manosphere folks, they say things that we can use or that we can utilize and to help us get a better understanding of the world and of relationship between men and women, particularly Black men and Black women. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out. Mr. Z was about to be out. Mr. O, emails in the description box. My email and my Cashapp are always in the description box. Y'all check that out. All right, Mr. Z out.
You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.